So I'm Adolfo, the product manager for Microsoft 365 at Rackspace. How do we stand out? We are our multi-cloud hybrid architecture, and our extensibility hub enables for us to offer complete and seamless integration across hyperscalers while maintaining a Microsoft-first strategy. So our deep expertise with Microsoft 365, Azure, data, and AI makes us a one-stop shop for anything Microsoft related. And it helps us, achieve greater outcomes and greater ROI for all of our customers across the full Microsoft stack. By certifying our experts, right, around Copilot and security, we stand out because, Copilot is a great tool, right, helping our customers in their everyday workflows. However, we do not deploy Copilot without security, right? So every engagement starts with Intune for device protection, Entra ID for access and identity management, and Purview for data governance. This approach, right, when we have our experts certified and include security with AI, it builds trust with our customers, but also ensures compliance and readiness, right, for AI and Copilot. And this also comes to the realization of greater outcomes for our customers and their AI journey. That's why our partnership with Microsoft is vital in what we do, right? We have early access to skilling programs and deployment frameworks, right? And we are part of the Jumpstart programs. And for example, we're already cheering the Copilot Jumpstart program. And that helps us, be prepared, be skilled, right? And have access to the latest innovations, right? Even before they are public to the market. We got access to Copilot before it was released, right? So we identified, that security was needed to be first, right? Security first, AI later. And we have our Microsoft practice now full equipped with Copilot, right? With the necessary guardrails, right? We have noticed an amazing increase in our productivity, right? From product, sales, marketing, right? So any M365 Racker right now has a full license, and we're seeing the results, right? And that's how we're able to share with our customers, like, hey, this is, depending on the role, this is how I use Copilot, right? This is how I benefit, right? How I make myself more productive. Our sellers, how they can treat our customers better, right? Or share better solutions to them depending on their needs, right? And for customer success, right? How they can treat our customers better, right, with the help of Copilot. One of my favorite ones is the one from the Housing Authority of the City of Austin, right? So everything started when they experienced downtime during a severe winter storm, and they lost access to vital information, right? So they realized that they had some issues with their on-premise infrastructure, and that they needed ways to work remotely more efficiently. Right? So we migrated this customer to Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365. We just not only did the migration, where we offered training, right? Managed support, managed services, and something that was key to them was we provided detailed information for their compliance requirements, as they are a government agency, right? And now they're using Teams, right? SharePoint, right? Streamlining communication, right? And confirming secure access to sensitive information, right? That is key. And with all of this, now they're able to serve its community better, right? While maintaining compliance and operational efficiency. One of our main focuses are the SMC or enterprise customer segment, but we don't forget about SMBs, right? So what we do is we create out of box campaigns and solutions, right? So they're easy to ingest, right, for our smaller customers. And then we just personalized, depending on each of these customers. But we're starting with a pre-packaged solution, right? And then just tailoring to each and every need. They need, options to scale quickly, right? To secure their environments, and they must be cost effective, right? So once we offer a package solution with these three, we start with that, and then depending on their specific need, right, we can add add-ons, right? For example, if they have multiple tenants across different regions okay, then we can add multi-geo capabilities to that solution, right? Or if they have frontline workers, for example, then we can add these frontline specific solutions. Or if they need the ability to have contractors by seasons, for example, then we deploy Intune, right, for these contractors. What we use the most, right, out of Microsoft would be our skilling, right, and the opportunity to get to test the technology before it's released to the market, right? The ability to get together in the same table with their engineers and developers, right? Have these focus groups, right, between our delivery people and Microsoft's engineers, right? The ability to provide our direct feedback that we hear. So we hear from our customers, right? We share that feedback to Microsoft, and we see that they actually, take this feedback into account, make the changes, make releases, make tweaks, right? So that's what really makes that differentiation. Some trends that we have been seeing, right, is everyone's using AI, right? Our employees are using AI, but we companies are not sure if they're using AI securely, right? So the best way to remove all of these uncertainties and insecurities is to actually, deploy secure AI, right? Or make a secure AI transformation, right? Because employees can be putting out the information, right, to a free AI option, and that, I think that's called shadow AI, right? So the best thing to do is equip these curious employees, right, with secure AI solutions, and for example, Copilot, right? Because Copilot will keep all of the information within the environment, right? It won't be used to train the AI tools like any other option, right? We'll make sure that the AI tools and the users have just the access that they need, right? So that they don't are again discovering or sharing information that they shouldn't, right? So the trend is everyone's using AI, whether we like it or not. So the best thing to do is to anticipate, right, to this trend, right, and adopt it in a secure manner. Microsoft is betting everything on Copilot. They've seen the results, right, and we're doing the same thing, right? So we have designed our full Microsoft 365 Copilot Flight Plan, as we call it, right? So it begins with readiness, right, and security for the environment. Then it goes, we call that our pre-flight checks for Copilot, right? Then we go to agents and extensibility, right? Because we were able to connect Copilot to other sources, right, to provide better insights, right, or better results. And also agents, right, for task automation. With this full Copilot Flight Plan, we can help our customers regardless on which step of their AI journey they are, right? We can just jump in and help right away. Our partnership with Microsoft, right, enabled us to deliver comprehensive end-to-end solutions, right, all the way from onboarding to optimization, right? So through CSP, we offer flexible licensing, right, and access to the latest Microsoft innovations, right, like Copilot. And our partnership is vital because it provides us early access to skilling programs and deployment resources, and also very attractive available funding, right, for our customers to start adopting these technologies, right? So we got Microsoft help, right, and our expertise, right, and we accelerate adoption, right, resulting in the realization of greater outcomes and greater ROI.